Thanks to Atlas state-of-the-art tracking systems, homing rockets are now a thing in Borderlands. We're going to be taking a look at all of the parts that can spawn on non-unique and non-legendary Atlas heavy weapons. The Atlas tracking system is comprised of two firing modes. The first allows you to fire out various types of projectiles that apply a tracker to enemies, and the second are smart bullets, or in our case rockets that can home in on those trackers. We're going to take a look at the different tracking types. The first are tracker darts, which need to be shot directly at an enemy. If you don't hit an enemy with them, then you'll have to fire another one or go without tracking an enemy. This is what the dart part looks like. With the next tracking system, the tracking puck, there's a little more room for error. The puck will home in on a nearby enemy, applying the tracker to them. Here is the puck part. The last tracking system is the grenade. This one will explode and apply a tracker to any enemies nearby that are hit. This isn't as good for single target damage because your projectiles will be spread amongst all of the enemies that are hit rather than focusing down a single target. And here's what the grenade part looks like. Now, how the length of time that the tracker lasts is determined is a bit of a mystery to me. I'm not sure if it's based on a combination of parts or if it's generated randomly. 8, 10, 12, and 15 seconds seem to be the most common duration for the tracker to last, but I've also seen 13 and 19, and I'm not sure if these are the only lengths of time. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the tracking systems, and now we'll take a look at the body of the gun. All Atlas heavy weapons will have the same body no matter the rarity. Now when you're in the parts inspector, you can't move or rotate the weapons, so a lot of the time the UI will get in the way of the parts. But there is a way to cycle through the highlighted parts if you go to the parts inspector tab and then go back to another tab and then hit up or down as you would when you're looking through the parts. Here's the body in plain sight. This thing can come with 3 accessories. The first here is going to give a 10% damage boost. The second here will decrease your reload time by 10%. The third will increase your splash damage radius by 20%. Now you can't see it here in the parts inspector tab because the entire gun is in the way and you can't rotate anything here, but you can see it here back in the item menu. It's this tiny little part on the side of the body. So that's it for the body and its accessories. Now we'll take a look at the 3 barrels, which will determine the base names of the guns. And each barrel can spawn with 3 unique accessories. The first barrel is the pattern NULL barrel. With this barrel, your gun will have a fully automatic rocket launcher with a pretty decent fire rate. This is the pattern NULL barrel here. Just for having this, your rockets will have a base splash damage radius of 202. This barrel can also come with 3 accessories. The first one here will give you a damage boost of 10%. The second one here will provide a 10% fire rate bonus. And the third here will also provide a 10% fire rate bonus. The second barrel we're going to look at is the pattern black barrel. This barrel will give you a heavy weapon that fires multiple projectiles at once but has a very slow fire rate. This is the barrel here, which will provide your rockets with a splash damage radius of 163. And this barrel, like the pattern NULL, can also spawn with 3 accessories. The first will provide 1 additional projectile per shot. The second will also provide an additional projectile per shot and will also provide a 15% accuracy bonus. The third will decrease your reload time by 10%. The third and final barrel will be the patterned red barrel. This one will shoot 3 quick burst fire rockets. Here's the barrel, which will give your rockets a splash damage radius of 176. Just like the other 2 barrels, this one will have 3 accessories. The first will provide a damage increase of 10%. The second will increase your magazine size by 2 and will also give a 10% damage boost. The third will increase your splash damage radius by 20% and will decrease recoil height by 25%. That is it for the barrels. Now we're going to take a look at the 3 grips. The first here will provide a 20% accuracy bonus and a 5% damage bonus. In the part inspector, it's covered by the UI, but here you can see the whole thing. The second one will give you a splash damage radius of 20% and recoil height reduction of 15%. Again, this one's behind the UI, so here's a better look at it. And the final grip will reduce your weapon sway by 30% and give you a 5% fire rate bonus. Weapon sway for some reason is listed here twice, but I think this is just a bug that shows up whenever weapon sway is listed on a part. And here's a better view of it. Now we'll take a look at the 3 foregrips. The first will increase your damage by 5%. The second one here will increase your fire rate by 5%. And the third one here will increase your splash damage radius by 20% and decrease your reload time by 5%. Next, we'll take a look at the 3 magazines. The first is the 3-round magazine, which will increase your damage by 10%. This one will only spawn with the patterned black barrel. You can see here that the magazine is connected directly to the barrel and is shaped perfectly to fit. The second magazine is the 6-round magazine that gives no damage bonus or penalty. This one will only spawn with a patterned red barrel. And the last magazine is the 8-round magazine, which gives a damage penalty of 10%. This one will only spawn with the pattern NULL barrel. Now, Atlas heavy weapons have a wire part that is very easy to miss when you're looking at the gun. There's 3 of these that we'll take a look at. The first gives you an accuracy bloom bonus of 25% and an accuracy bonus of 15%. Here's a view from the other side where you can actually see this thing. The second wire will increase your magazine size by 10%. This part is pretty much useless because the magazine sizes are so low that a 10% increase isn't going to increase your magazine size, even with 8 in the mag. Here's a better look at this part. This last wire here will increase your splash damage radius by 20%, and here's a look at it from the other side. Next, we come to the scopes. There are 3 of these and you're always going to have one. The first doesn't have any listed zoom on the gun card, but you can tell it does zoom in a little bit. This one here will increase your zoom by 1.7 times. And this one will increase your zoom by 2.2 times. Here's a table listing all of these parts for Atlas heavy weapons. As always, I'll link a spreadsheet with all of this information and the parts for other weapons as I get through them. See ya, guys.